Hi guys. So what I'm going to be doing here is actually presenting what's known as a Prezi presentation that I've created. Prezi is very similar to Google in the sense that it's a presentation platform, but the difference is it's set up a little differently in how you create your presentation. I will definitely give instruction if you're interested in using Prezi. So here we go. What you're looking at is a full screen Prezi. It can be made public. And what I've done is I've taken partner two's topics and created a presentation. Down at the bottom, due to my screen capture, you can't see it, but you're going to notice it says, why should the 1940s be remembered? This is the driving question for everything that you do. I expect you to have a title that says, why should, and then your decade be remembered. This video will be broken up into two segments due to the fact that the screen capture software I'm using only allows for 10 minutes. So this will be part one of the two parts to help you with partner two. I'm going to talk about some suggestions. If you decide not to use Prezi, that's okay, but don't lose sight of what I'm actually deciding to do. If you decide to use Google Presentation, I would encourage that you watch partner one's presentation to get a sense for how to use Google Presentation and what I expect you to do when you set it up. All right, so here we go. Let's break into a quick pause and then I'll move into my first topic. All right, so I'm going to go to my first topic, and what you'll notice is that Prezi actually does what's called a zoom in feature. So the way that I set up my project is I actually am going to zoom into the title, Technology, Microwave Then to Now. What I expect you to do with your technology advancement, very similar to what I'm asking for the scientific advancement, is you actually show how it's evolved from when it was created to now. So to start with, I would zoom into this title. You'll notice the picture is a full screen picture. Now, I would encourage that you only do 1 to 2 pictures for a specific topic. You don't want to overwhelm your audience with too many pictures. And don't forget, you have to cite a ton of information. You don't want to have to overwhelm yourself with too many picture citations. So this is actually an image of the first microwave oven. So here's an example of how I would present this particular picture. In 1946, Percy Spencer invented the first microwave oven from radar technology that was developed during World War II. The purpose of a microwave oven is it actually heats food quickly and efficiently by exposing it to electromagnetic radiation. This was the advent of technology that would forever change Americans. Now, the first microwave ovens in the 1940s into 50s were actually very costly. They cost almost $2,000 due to the amount of money and technology that was needed to create it. Now, what I would do by this point is I would actually move over to my next picture, and you'll notice that it's a picture of a modern day microwave. This is from Panasonic's website, and it's a 2015 microwave. What I'm going to expect you to do with technology is actually give some facts to show how it's evolved from the time you talked about to now. Now, if you're a 2000s group, I do expect to see a little bit of evolution. So to give you an example, in the 1960s and 70s, there was improvement made to the devices so that the cost went down to $495. By the late 1970s, the Japanese had re-engineered the microwave oven and actually made it so that it was cheaper in production, cheaper equipment, and the technology was kind of streamlined so that it went down to being very cheap. By 1997, 90% of American homes had microwave ovens, and by 2015, they're almost standard in every home. In fact, many homeowners now expect that a microwave oven is part of the appliances that they'll find in their kitchen. So what you see that I did there is I actually talked about the topic, kind of giving just quick glimpses at several decades leading up to present day. I'm really making sure that I answer that overarching question. So be careful that you do that as well. You're also going to notice that with Prezi, I'm going to zoom to my next topic, which is movie. So once again, I have a feature that I zoom in on the title, and the movie that I chose is It's a Wonderful Life. Now, with movie, it's going to be a little different. Before I start giving information, I'm actually going to show a video clip. So I would zoom to the clip, and it's going to take a second to load.
George, the richest man in town.
All All right, so what you can't see under this video clip is I do actually have a citation. The citation in this case did not have an author or a company name, so I actually put the title, which was, I put video, and then in parentheses I have It's a Wonderful Life. This should connect me back to your Easy Bib, so don't forget to do that. Now, I would at most show only 15 to 25 seconds of the clip because you do not want to take too much time. I chose to just show a clip from the movie. I also put in your notes that you can show the preview of the movie, but remember, 25 seconds, you want to choose wisely. So now going into the actual information of the movie. It's a Wonderful Life is about an angel helps a compassionate but despairingly frustrated businessman whose life, who kind of shows him what his life would have been like if he never existed. It was nominated for several Oscars. It's been referenced in several shows. Why should this movie be remembered is because it's actually shown on TV every year during the holiday season. It's been referenced in movies such as National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Elf. In the 1980s, Back to the Future actually had a segment of the storyline based off of the film. And in present day, it's been referenced in such cartoons such as Family Guy and The Simpsons. This movie's long-lasting capacity is something that Americans remember. And most Americans, if you ask them what it's about, they'll be able to tell you. So once again, I've given you a glimpse at the movie clip-wise, and I've given you some information. I gave you the plot, I talked about its awards, and then I talked about its influence. I'm not looking for an enormous amount of information, but I want to know, why did you choose this movie to remember? All right, going on to our next topic. The next topic I have is actually name brand products. Now, what's interesting about this is my era of name brand products makes it very difficult to find commercials, but I will expect that you will have a YouTube clip for a name brand commercial to show it from the decade. So if you, for instance, choose something from the decades such as like Silly Putty or Play-Doh, you'll need to have an actual commercial instead of a photograph like I do. But because my product was created in the 1940s, there are no commercials during this time for the specific product that I chose. So once again, Prezi is going to allow me to zoom in. The name brand product that I chose are Legos. And going on to what is a Lego from the 1940s, this was actually an ad taken out of the New York Times, and it was on the Lego Incorporated site, so that's where it's from. Like I said, there are no specific commercials. So on this picture, what I would do is just give a little bit of background. I would specify that this product was created by a Danish carpenter by the name of Ole Christensen. Lego actually comes from the words leg godt, which means play well. In 1947, Lego was originally wooden blocks, and in 1947, based on World War II technology, they developed a plastic injection that actually created interlocking plastic bricks that were patented in 1949. The Lego industry has gone on to make 320 billion Lego blocks to date. They had a bit of a downturn from 1994 to 2004, but they actually began to buy up product names such as Batman, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and from 2004 to present date, Lego is one of the highest grossing toy companies in the world. Why should it be remembered? It has inspired amusement parks, Legoland. There are Lego stores across the country. There are artists who actually create not life size, but replicas of national monuments that are extremely large. The picture you're looking at is actually from a movie that was created called The Lego Movie, which came out in 2014, which was a critical success, and it actually made the company millions of dollars. It grossed $1 billion worldwide, and it clearly shows why this name brand product has had a long-lasting influence. All right, so I'm going to pause there momentarily, and what you'll notice is I talked about the product, I gave a little bit of background, I gave a little history, not much, and then I actually went on to talk about present day. You can't give every single piece of information for Legos. Trust me, there was a huge timeline. But what I did was I really talked about I didn't talk about how it evolved like with technology. Instead, I focused on why it should be remembered. All right, so down at the bottom of the screen, you're going to notice that my time is up on this specific clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to finish the presentation out in part 2. See you in a minute.